Welcome back to the Moonchild Podcast. I am your host, Elijah KB, and today we're going to talk about 3 types of people to cut off from your life. So the first type of people that we're going to address are the type of people who are not trying to change for the better. The people who are not trying to change for the better. I'm not talking about people who are simply not changing for the better. I'm talking about more so people who are aware of the changes that they need to make and still not changing for the better. These are people that's going to hold you up on your journey of evolution, right? So you want to get rid of these people as soon as possible. These people can hinder your evolution, and we don't want that happening, right? So these are definitely the type of people that you want to keep your distance from. I mean, really, there's no real reason to deal with these type of people once you've become aware that these people are not trying to change. It doesn't really matter who this person is to you, whether it's your friend, your family member, your mom, your dad, your whoever. This type of shit can't be tolerated if you are serious about your evolution. If you're serious about your evolution, you will have to cut ties with these people. You understand? You would actually have to separate yourself from these people altogether, especially when you're going through a crucial part of your evolution, the beginning stages of your evolution. These are the type of people that you might have got a trauma bond with. You know what I'm saying? And so while you're on your shadow work shit, you healing and you evolving and things like that, these are the same people who are going to try and chop you back down to size. You understand? It's a part of them that becomes fearful once you begin to heal the trauma, because you bonded through trauma. So once the trauma is gone, the bond is gone. They understand this even subconsciously, even if they don't understand it consciously. Your evolution, your higher vibration that you've been taking on as of late is starting to trigger their darkness. It's starting to trigger things within them, you know, that are very much opposing to the shit you on now. You understand? So yeah, you got to watch that shit. You can't allow those people to be within your presence while you're going through evolution, because they definitely will hinder it, and they definitely will they might get into your head, you understand, about what you're doing, you know, because when you're new to something, you're very much still a baby to it a lot of times, right? So it could be very crucial points, very critical moments where what you need is encouragement. But when you have people around you like this who are staying as they are, they try to influence you to go backwards in order to make them feel comfortable in your presence. Because if you elevate, you understand, the vibration is no longer a match, and y'all's friendship, whether it was through trauma bonding or whatnot, it's built off low vibrational shit, or at least the level that you were once on. But once you start to elevate, and they're not trying to elevate, what they have to do in order to maintain the friendship and maintain comfortability is bring you back down to where you were at, where they recognize you. You understand? Where they can get along with you. So that's the first person, right? The people who are never trying to change for the better, and who are aware, but still not trying to change for the better. What we got? So look at my notes. Okay. The second type of person that we're going to address are the people who are always, and I do mean all fucking ways, gossiping about somebody else. We all know these type of people. If you claim you don't know these type of people, you probably are that type of person. And I'm making a video about your friend going through their evolution to cut you off. But anyway, so these type of people, it's kind of piggybacking off of the first type of person, right? It can be very much the same person, because they're not trying to change, because they're uncomfortable with uh, or not wanting to take risks and do things different and get out of their shell and become more, due to whatever the reason is. Because of that, they constantly find themselves gossiping about other people in order to try and level the playing field in their head. This is the same type of technique that they might use on you when they don't want to change and you're in your constant state of evolution. Only thing is, you guys might have used to gossip with each other, but now you're talking more so about ideas and plans for the future and goals and things like that. And since they're not a vibrational match to that, and it's unfamiliar, and now they look at you like you're acting weird, they have to try and bring you down. But these are the people, same type of people, right? So these type of people, they have to talk about other people. They don't really have to talk about other people. They can simply improve and use other people's success as motivation and inspiration, instead of always trying to find a flaw in somebody to make themselves feel better. Because they're stuck in their miserable little world, and they have to find a way to drag everybody down and make everybody seem like they're pieces of shit like them. You know what I'm saying? So they find something to hate in everything. They find something to criticize in everything. It's like nobody can ever do anything outside of their little box of they're kind of walled in by different insecurities and things like that. They got a whole thing, right? So they don't like to see anybody else living in their truth, right? Living, stepping their shit up. You know what I'm saying? Taking risks out there in the world, and trying to make themselves elevate, trying to get themselves to elevate, exploring the world, meeting new people, getting into new ideas, new business ventures, taking a risk. You know what I'm saying? Really, really trying, really putting their best foot forward, and really using their life and their time wisely in a very productive way. These type of people that don't want to move, when they're watching you from the sideline, they got a lot of shit to say. It's very much so coming from an envious place, and this is not something that they will admit. I'm not telling you to confront them about how how they hate on you or no shit like that. They're not going to admit that shit. These motherfuckers are not going to admit that they're haters. They're not. They just know it's something within them that don't like the shit you doing, because it forces them to look at themselves, and they refuse to do that. They're not even comfortable with themselves. So things like this type of shit starts to stir in this person, and this can very well turn into they're already on the level of hating, but this can start to become dangerous. These people can actually become dangerous to you, a danger to your well-being, because now, in the height of your successes, and when things do start to turn around and things like that, they can pretty much do anything. Some of them will pretty much do anything to see you fail, including be a part of the reason why you failed. Because now they don't give a fuck about being your friend. They just don't want to see you win, because they don't see it in the cards for them. And their whole life is about comparison, because they don't have any introspective, which we're about to get into on the third type of person, which is pretty much the same type of person, really. It's just three reasons, right? 3 reasons why you should cut a person off. But yeah, that lack of introspective causes them to compare everything to the external. Like, they don't really know who they are. They haven't really gathered enough about themselves to even feel confident within themselves. So they feel like they have to, reach outside of their bodies and try to fuck with what you got going on. You understand? It's all about comparison and competing. They don't realize that you know, everybody is in a lane of their own. It's no such thing as, you know, you understand? So these are the type of people. This is the second type of person that you definitely want to get the fuck away from. And if you don't, you'll see why I told you. The third type of person that we're going to discuss is someone who is always a victim. Come on, we all know this motherfucker, right? Someone who is always a victim. I'm talking about, it don't matter what the fuck happened. They are always the victim. It always happened to them. They have they don't have a bright side bone in their body. They don't have a accountability, you know, bone in their body. They don't know what the fuck that is. They're not trying to take accountability for shit. It's always happening to them. These people have no introspection. So, these are people where, you know, if this is like your best friend or something, and they're always telling you these different stories, these different scenarios about things that they've been through, they're going through, and you listen to the common, you know, the common denominator throughout their stories, and it's always them. But they never see it like that. Or you don't even have to put that together just yet, but just notice the pattern that no matter what happens, if it's fucked up, if it's, you know, if it's something that, you know, some sort of disagreement of any kind, some sort of like misunderstanding, they're always the victim. They're always the victim. This is a big red flag. They're always the victim. These are the type of people you don't want to date, you don't want to be friends with, and if you are friends with, you gotta get rid of those. You don't want to be close family members with. Y'all can be related because you can't help it, right? But as far as like actually bonding with these people on your journey of evolution, you gotta get, you know, that's out of the question. You gotta get rid of these people. People are gonna always do shit and never take responsibility, never take accountability. And, you know, you would always have to clean up their messes. And at some point, you know what I mean? Like, even if you're the nicest person in the world, because a lot of people are going to have a hard time cutting these people off in general. Cutting people off in general, a lot of times, a lot of people have a hard time doing that anyway. Just anyway. So, but just because it's difficult does not mean it's impossible, right? So I'm going to highly suggest that you cut these people off no matter how the fuck you feel, because it's not about what you feel if you're talking about actually evolving, actually getting to your next level, next, you know, your next state of evolution, right? So let's see. I'm gonna throw you a bonus one. We're gonna go 4. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna throw you a bonus one. Leave the environment. Leave the environment. If you are surrounded by these type of people, and you have the if you can, right? Leave the environment. Leave. Change cities. Shit, you can change states, whatever you got to do. Some people are in the position to do this right now. I would recommend that you do it as soon as possible, because when you're on your way to evolve into your next level, environment is a big thing. If you're trying to become a new you and fight off the old you, or you know, outgrow your old ways, old habits, old ways of thinking, but you're surrounded by all the people who encourage and who are a part of your old ways of thinking, old ways of being, old ways of looking, outlooks on life, then it's going to be really hard for you to make that change, because while you're trying to change, you have like a million different thoughts and feelings around you, and energies around you that are encouraging the old you. So it's better if you clear out that space, or you clear out yourself. You know what I'm saying? You get out yourself. So yeah, that will be my bonus one. It's super important for you to be mindful of the environment. You know what I mean? Be mindful of the company you keep, which is really the whole point of this episode, is to get you to understand that the people around you have so much to do with how you're going to be and the success that you're going to have, and the type of outlook that you're going to have. It's going to influence you at some point, if it hasn't already. And while you're trying to work on getting out of the old ways, putting your ego to the side, it's very important to get these people out of the way in order for you to let in new people that match your new vibration, for one, and two, allow you to grow a little more effortlessly, right? Because the spiritual journey is already a challenge anyway. So why would you make it harder by putting all the wrong people around you? Let's get rid of these motherfuckers. And I wish you luck on your spiritual journey. This has been the Moonchild Podcast with yours truly, the Moonchild, his motherfucking self, Elijah KB. And I'm gonna hit y'all later. For those interested in spiritual advice, I now have a page where you can sign up for a one-on-one hour session with myself. The link will be in the description. And for any questions and topics for the podcast, feel free to email them to me.